now. Everything will be out of sight. Come on and tighten it up now.
This is 1480 KRAE Cheyenne. What you are about to hear is a sports talk radio show unlike any other that has ever before been broadcast in the capital city of Cheyenne, Wyoming, USA. This is Cheyenne, Wyoming's Sports Talk Authority. The Wyoming Cowboys, the Denver Broncos, the Colorado Rockies, and the Denver Nuggets. The show is local, it's regional, and yes, the show is national as well. Wyoming Sports Talk Today is on the air. If they're talking sports on the radio in Cheyenne, this is the place it happens. This is Wyoming Sports Talk Today.
Welcome to Wyoming Sports Talk Today, Tuesday. 2 words for Taco John's of Cheyenne. Taco Tuesday, even at the food truck over on South Greeley Highway. Remember, Tuesdays always. Taco Tuesday at Taco John's. Jolly Rogers RV Sales and Service over on Highway 30, exclusive home for Jayco RVs, fifth wheels, travel trailers. Great prices right now on units from 2018 as well as this year, and great financing packages put in place by our friends over at Jolly Rogers RV Sales and Service over on Highway 30. Chick-fil-A over at the corner of Windmill and Delrange, directly across from Powers Field and Menards. And again, offering this new beverage. Nick, you could help me out on that. You're not going to help me?
You're
going to leave me hanging?
Again, I think it's passion fruit strawberry tea.
Here for a limited time.
Yeah.
And then they have the new sandwich.
What is it? It's a barbecue bacon chicken sandwich, or at least grilled chicken sandwich.
There you go. I'm glad you bailed me out. We actually got coupons. Bring them in here so we know what we're talking about. Chick-fil-A offering delicious squares for you. 3 squares. Breakfast, lunch, and dinner. Monday through Saturday. Ray and Cindy's Place. Go to CheyenneChicken.com. Let them come on over and cater a birthday, an anniversary, a special event. They do a marvelous job catering over at Chick-fil-A of Cheyenne. Kia of Cheyenne over in Nation Way. The 19s are on the lot right now, and they are looking for new homes. And, of course, AJ and Greg and the entire crew over there invite you to come on by, take a test drive, and take home whatever Kia appeases you, and let them do the paperwork. You just sign on the dotted line, bring home your Kia, and you're good to go. And again, you know when you buy a Kia from Cheyenne, they're going to give you all of the goodies that go along. You know, the 10-year, 10,000-mile warranty. That's what we're talking about. Good friends over at Kia of Cheyenne on Nation Way. Platte Valley Bank ×2. Banking done the old-fashioned way, done everything in between, and, of course, the high-technology way. So, again, see our good friends Rick and the crew over on Vanda High, and, again, for you on the east side at the corner of College and Pershing. Medicap Pharmacy is over there today. Talked to my good friend Gene, right there next door to Texas Roadhouse, and they're open Monday through Saturday. You can shop inside. You can use the convenient drive-thru, as I saw one of my friends going through the drive-thru. And, again, too, with your doctor's prescription, let Medicap Pharmacy fill those prescriptions precisely and explain those medications to you. They've been doing this for a long time. Medicap Pharmacy, Bluegrass Circle, next door to Texas Roadhouse. Lennox Auto Body and the Auto Glass and Detail Center, which can be found on Pershing Boulevard, the Auto Body Shop over on Dunn Avenue. Again, serving our community for 25 years. So with your insurance or whoever bangs into your vehicle, their insurance, make sure you take it over there and let Heather and her great staff fix it up for you today. Lennox Auto Body over on Dunn Avenue. And again, the Auto Glass and Detail Center on Pershing Boulevard. First Year Bank over on Stillwater Avenue, 1508 Stillwater Avenue, open Monday through Friday. Again, offering on a 27-month CD, an annual percentage yield right now of 3.1%. But again, banking done the old-fashioned way. Customer service, you always first and foremost at First Year Bank. And Mondello's Pizzeria, 1507 Stillwater Avenue, Suite D in the Greenway Commons. Paisan cuisine at its best. The East Coast style of Paisan cooking from Joe and the family, brought here to Cheyenne many years ago. And again, it is still reigning supreme. So when you want delicious pizza, stromboli, calzones, sandwiches, always on fresh baked bread, everything fresh, then you want to head over to Mondello's Pizzeria, 1507 Stillwater Avenue, Suite D, the Greenway Commons, open Monday through Sunday. And we get things underway. Our scoreboard is being brought to you by Pepsi of Cheyenne. This should be a very short one for Nick, so we'll go to him first.
Well, at least there's 2 games. One locally with the Cheyenne Post 6 Sixers, who are in town at Powers Field, coming up tonight. 6:30 is the start time as they'll take on the Catalyst Cardinals, a little alumni game in that one. Again, Cheyenne Post 6 had the kids clinic earlier. Again, they will wrap up today's events with the contest at 6:30 again over at Powers Field. And encourage all folks to head on out and support the Cheyenne Post 6 Sixers. And then also, too, collegiate baseball. It is game number 2 after Michigan picking up the win last night there in Omaha, Nebraska. It is game 2 tonight, 5 o'clock. ESPN is where you can watch that one. Michigan does have the chance tonight to win the national championship if they are able to defeat Vanderbilt one more time.
We go to the Major League Baseball scoreboard, and here's what's going on for this evening. The game's getting underway when we get out of here at 5. Rangers and the Tigers at Comerica. Blue Jays, Yankees again in the Bronx. It will be the Phils hosting the Mets. Padres, Orioles at Oriole Park at Camden Yards. Interleague play for you. White Sox, Bo Sox at Fenway Park. Kansas City and the Indians at Progressive Field. It will be the Nats, Marlins Park at 5:10. 6 o'clock game. We'll have the Braves and the Cubs again at Wrigley. 6:10. Astros hosting the Pirates. Mariners will face the Brewers in interleague play. That'll be at Miller Park. Also in the 6 o'clock hour, Rays and the Twins at Target Field. Athletics and the Cardinals. How about that matchup at Busch, interleague play? Dodgers and the Diamondbacks at 7:40 at Chase Field. Only 102 degrees right now in Phoenix. Giants and the Rocks after last night. Rockies blanking the Giants 2-0. John Gray, 6 impressive innings as he shut out the Giants as well as the relief corps. Again, they will hook up at 7:45 at Oracle Park. It will be the Reds and the Angels interleague play tonight at Angel Stadium of Anaheim. Our scoreboard brought to you by Pepsi of Cheyenne.
Yo, this is your cup holder talking. You know me, the little round thing between your car seats. Now, listen, we need to talk. Now, I normally have a nice cold bottle of Mountain Dew in me, but at the moment, I'm empty. That's right, no Mountain Dew. Nothing in here but a couple of quarters and a dime. A fully capable cup holder like me just carrying your loose change, it's embarrassing. Look, I'm not made for loose change. I'm round like a bottle of Mountain Dew. Glistening, cold, and delicious. I'm made to keep Mountain Dew within reach at all times, so you're never far from that incredible bold citrus kick whenever you need it. Just inches from your hand. So find a store already, grab some Dew, toss it back, then place that bottle where it belongs, and put that loose change back in your pocket. Mountain Dew. Do the Dew.
Your locally owned and operated radio stations, KYOI-FM and 1480 KRAE AM, are just that, local. Serving Cheyenne and Laramie County, where your advertising dollar stays local too. It doesn't end up in Colorado, Oklahoma, New Hampshire, or even New York. We conduct business here, we shop here, and we live here. And we support our entire community 24/7, 365. Just because it has a window dressing doesn't mean it isn't a facade. A reminder from KYOI and 1480 KRAE. Chick-fil-A is a proud supporter of our high school athletes at East, Central, and South. May the school year bring success to all of you. Before you start your day, stop by Chick-fil-A for a hearty, delicious, and satisfying breakfast. Only at Windmill and Del Range. Breakfast is served Monday through Saturday from 6 in the morning till 10:30 a.m. Breakfast with Chick-fil-A, the most important meal of the day at Windmill and Del Range. First Tier Bank strives to remain competitive and offers some of the best CD rates in the community, as well as area banks and credit unions per Rate Watch reports. How does that make a difference to you? First Tier Bank can assist you in securing some of the best rates on CDs. First Tier Bank offers the personalized customer service you've grown accustomed to and deserve. Plus, feel confident that your finances are taken care of by a responsible, knowledgeable staff. Call 307-632-3500 and ask for Caitlin or Debbie. Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender.
Here's the latest weather forecast on 1480 KRAE.
For today, it'll be mostly sunny with highs around 77. If it's tonight, it'll be mostly cloudy with lows around 47. On Wednesday, it'll be mostly sunny with highs around 83. And on Wednesday night, it'll be mostly cloudy with lows around 51.
Fat, lazy, and stupid is no way to conduct a sports talk radio show. We've thrown down the gauntlet, upped the stakes, and made it clear that when it comes to sports talk radio in Cheyenne, there's a new player in town. This is Wyoming Sports Talk Today, and it's only here on AM 1480 KRAE.
Larry Perotti, Nick Perotti, Adam Galicia, head coach of the 18 and under Cheyenne Extreme, joining us here. And matter of fact, we'll be talking with one of his players. Lobby is filled right now. It's almost like you got to got a third of a squad out there waiting to chomping at the bit, getting ready for practice. So we want to get you in, get you out here real quick, Coach. The weekend that wasn't. I mean, I feel your pain because I got wiped out in Aurora on Saturday.
Yeah, but your games don't matter anything compared to what the Shine Extreme have to deal with. Again, this is real competition that they're doing, but but also too, again, your weekend that wasn't is kind of been a common theme throughout this year. It's something we talked off air of. Again, it has just been a wet, just spring and now summertime, and it is something that has just been an anomaly for the Shine Extreme.
Yeah, most definitely. This is the first year. I mean, we've literally missed 4 tournaments this year, and we're looking at 20 to 25 games that we're going to be short on our schedule this year. And it's a tough weekend to have a rain out going in. You want to be as prepared as possible going into the World Series, and not having games for a couple weeks doesn't really help that.
The worst part of all of this too, and I think back when there was an Extreme and Thunder squad. You don't have any tune-ups, and like you said, when you lose a game, it's basically lost. Now you could have, your team scrimmage each other, but then again, too, you don't have 20 kids where you can get on the field and do a simulated game.
Yeah, it's tough, and even with our younger teams, it's you just can't simulate that competition where somebody actually really wants to score runs, they really want to strike you out. It really, it's the intensity level's not there when you do those type of scrimmage games.
Regarding missing out 20 to 25 games this season and, just looking back or at least trying to get that competition, I mean, is there any pressure on you as a head coach, whether it is from parents, players, maybe even sponsors of the Shine Extreme? I mean, is there any pressure to make up these games, or is it pretty much of, hey, we understand it's rain, we have to deal with the field conditions, and we just have to move on?
It's been pretty good. We've never really had this kind of situation. We usually maybe get weathered out of one tournament a year, so this situation's never really happened before, and the parents understand. There's nothing we can control about it. Even like this last weekend, we didn't get the call till it was like 11 o'clock, 12 o'clock at night that the tournament was canceled. It was at 9:30. Everything was good to go. So, they're all waiting around, waiting to hear, and they've all been real good about it.
When we get a situation like this year, and again, this is probably one of the worst years in probably about the last 20 that we've had weather-wise, does that kind of make you think for next season, maybe I need to have something in my back pocket just in case? And what I'm saying, Coach, is maybe an 18 and under city team. Maybe you can do some type of scrimmage with the Parks and Rec. I don't know. I mean, you need to have some type of competition to get you ready because, again, you're embarking on something very important this weekend.
Oh, yeah. We've I'm not going to lie, this year I haven't pursued it, but in the years past I've actually pursued getting scrimmages with our city rec teams, and nobody's – honestly, there's a fear of just getting hurt, and it's not like we're out there to just get some field time and stuff, and so it's never really come about, and I wish it would. I wish that it was a commonplace in the fast pitch to have weekday games, and it's just not a commonplace thing, so it's still hard to get teams from Colorado to come up here or from anywhere, and so when we get them, we cherish those opportunities.
What do you do in these situations where, again, this has been commonplace so far this season, this anomaly year that has been 2019 for the Shine Extreme? Practices may get a little bit repetitive, especially at this point in time of the season. Again, as much as you're trying to get in and teach these, young ladies, what do you do to keep kind of things a little fresh or a little interesting, a little unique, to keep them on their toes, so to speak, so they're not kind of going through the motions, not being bored out there, especially when we are missing contests like we have been this season?
Well, and it's tough. It requires us as coaches sometimes to get a little more intense at practice, chew a little butt sometimes when we need it, and creating different drills. We're constantly, Michael and I, constantly surfing the internet looking for different drills. We're part of different coaching websites. We get different drills that way, but trying to keep it fresh for the girls and just changing the drills up as much as possible.
We always ask the young ladies when they come here about the World Series, College World Series. And I know, too, I'm still on the mailing list for USA Softball, obviously, when I was coaching in City League. So I still get those articles that come across. And obviously you get, I'm sure you get information sent to you all the time. Did you or Michael, when you tuned in to the College World Series, was there anything that you might have picked up? Maybe alignments? Did you take some notes too while you were watching the teams play?
I definitely, and I pick up a lot of different drills from those coaches. Most of them have websites, send stuff out, even through USA Softball. Just as recent as last week, there's a whole playbook on the USA Softball website. It's literally like 149 pages, and downloaded them. And I try to, when I see something on TV going on, I'm like, and the girls don't understand what I was trying to say. Sometimes I'll shoot a text out and say, hey, did you guys see that? That's what I'm talking about, And so I use that as reinforcement. Are we perfect? No, but, we try to emulate a lot of the stuff that we see the college teams doing.
What about the majors? And we're seeing a lot of shifting now, and we're seeing, pole hitters, they're throwing everybody over to the right or to the left side, knowing that Nick, we'll just say Nick's on your team, and he's a pull hitter. We know we've watched him play all the time, and all he does is pull. So we're going to move 3 infielders. Do you set the alignment up like that, or you pretty much stay true to the cuff?
No, we definitely that's very important. Like my scorekeeper, he tracks which direction the last at bat they hit the ball, even as the last game that we played a particular team. They'll have that page out, that score page out, and lets me know, hey, they went right center, they went left center, they went wherever they went. And knowing who the pitcher is, if I have the same pitcher in the circle against that particular team, I'm going to set the defense up, to account for that, whoever the batter's up.
Now, does Michael or you chart pitches?
We don't chart pitches. We probably should, but in my head, I guess I would say in my head I chart pitches.
You know what she got them out on.
Mental image of everything and what's going out there on the field.
You know who your pitchers are. You know what they're going to do, and if the batters can't adjust to what they're throwing, we're going to keep throwing the same pitches.
Speaking of the majors, and something that is at least kind of commonplace that we've discussed as well, too, and we'll ask kind of on the softball side of what you've been seeing, but a recent article has come out, whether it's in the pros and all the way down to, for instance, American Legion, Connie Mack with the high school teams around the nation, that at least seeing a trend right now in baseball where power hitters, or at least teams are trying to find those power hitters, basically go for the home run, the instant, at least automatic run, and we're seeing a growth in strikeouts. Have you been noticing that, at least in the softball ranks, of whether it's this year or recent years, of where teams are trying to kind of do the same commonplace of basically just being that aggressive long ball hitting team, and if not, we're just striking out left, right, and center? Yeah,
no, I don't really see that in the fast pitch. And on our team, we definitely don't see it. I talked to the girls about that. The long balls come when you're coming up there to just have a good at bat. When you're looking to drive the ball and you're doing everything right, that's when the long balls come. Typically when girls, you see it every once in a while where a girl's going up looking for a home run because she just wants to do it. And typically, honestly, they usually end up popping it up or striking out.
Well, one of the things that we can appreciate about fast pitch, and again, with your program, 18 under, you like to institute all small ball, hit, run, or as we used to call back in the day, bunt, slash, whatever. Yeah. You institute all of it. And again, it's too bad the majors don't emulate what you guys do sometimes.
I'm sure they're doing just fine, but it'd be pretty cool.
Now, looking at least upcoming, where at least weather should be decent here in town, or at least in the region, at least hopefully for this Thursday, but also to you guys, at least the Extreme will be on the road, at least will be in the air, so to speak, coming up with the weekend. But Thursday, doubleheader action, as we mentioned about last week. But to remind folks, coming up this, at least Thursday, doubleheader action, 5 and 6:30 tentative start time here at Converse Park. Doubleheader action against the Colorado Rockettes, 18B team that you'll be seeing. So at least getting some competition in. Just give us a little insight. Have you been able to scout this Rockettes team? What do you know about them?
Hey, they've only been in one tournament with us this year. They actually have a pretty decent record. I think they have maybe 1 loss, 2 losses. So I'm hoping for some good competition. We need some good competition heading into our trip next week. And other than that, I haven't got to see them play yet. Other than I know, just looking on the websites and stuff, seeing what they've done, but physically I haven't been able to see them yet.
And regarding this doubleheader, is this the last time this season that Cheyenne Extreme will be playing in town, or again, or at least basically, playing in town against at least another competition?
Most likely, yes. And then hopefully we'll see how it goes, with our next couple road trips here that we have, and we'll just see if any teams are available afterwards, after July 10th, 11th, 12th.
And the reason why I was just asking that question is more so to kind of put out the alert there to fans, at least here in town, to go support the Cheyenne Extreme, something we talked to you about last week. Reiterate again, with Extreme softball, especially at Converse Park, and games are free to attend, correct?
Correct, yeah, they're free, and this is a good opportunity for everybody to come out and see the girls, see some of our seniors and stuff. Last time you'll get to see them on the field, and so I expect a lot of friends and family to be out there and just supporting the team.
Looking at the upcoming trip to Florida, and again, it's a hectic time for you, Michael, and as well as the young ladies, and you got to get everything together, make sure they got everything. You got to be a secondary dad. How many young ladies can you have officially on the roster to take with you when you go to the Southeast?
Actually, you can. What is it? I think it's like 22 max that you can have in your roster. Typically, when we go to national tournaments or regional events, if I have to pick up more than 1 or 2 players, I'd rather not go. If we got to pick up 4, 5, 6 players, it's just not your team. It's the girls they're not in sync. They don't know what each other's doing. So we've been pretty fortunate. Usually, we have the majority of our team that can go, and we have 13 girls going this next week.
And health-wise, I know Nick, and I don't mean to step on Nick. He always asks the health of the squad. So let's, as we get ready for the double dip here on Thursday.
I think we're actually sitting pretty good. It's the end of the season. Like we are short some of the games that we normally would have had. We still got the normal, little arm irritations here and there, a couple twisted ankles maybe, but, it's just the normal stuff. Nothing that's going to stop us from competing at a high level.
Obviously, you're still at least focused at one game at a time, or at least this doubleheader in town against the Colorado Rockettes. But moving forward, obviously a big tournament, a big at least series down there in Florida with the Space Coast World Series. Do we know teams? Have you at least got that information? Have you had any footage or at least any scouting notes on teams that you'll possibly see as well too in this upcoming tournament?
No, it's a little tougher with fast pitch to actually get any kind of information, from nationally about teams. All you can really do is look at their records. Sometimes you can look if they've gone to some tournament that's closer, and possibly one thing with USSSA, they actually show common opponents on there, so you can look at that if there is any. But typically when we go to Florida or somewhere like that, it's teams from all over the country, so there's not a whole lot of common opponents there.
And this also, too, is a Class A tournament as well, too. So whereas mentioned earlier with the Colorado Rockettes, they are an 18B team. You've actually seen a few A teams throughout the season when you've been able to play games. So do you feel at least confident heading into this tournament that you've had enough kind of experience with those Class A teams to kind of prepare for this tournament? Yeah,
I think we're going to be fine. As long as we're hitting the ball, we can't have like we had at Gillette where, we do that 20 for 73 because, one part of our MO is scoring runs. And our pitching, we're sitting pretty good. A lot of big difference between the A teams and the B teams is just the depth in pitching. We're sitting pretty well. We got 4 really solid pitchers. We got a 5th one they can throw. So the temperatures are going to be hot there, so we're going to have to be able to utilize multiple pitchers. Going with 13 bodies, we're going to be able to sub people in and out. Hydration is going to be a big thing down there. It's going to be hot, but we're ready to go.
Coach, we wish you all the best this Thursday on the double dip, and of course, safe travels to Florida, and all the best to the 18 and under Extreme.
Thanks, guys. Appreciate it.
Adam Galicia, join us here on 1480K. We're going to take a time out. We're going to introduce you to one of his players, Britney Lopez, coming up after these words here on 1480K KRAE.
Are you looking for a pharmacist who will actually take the time to talk to you? Then come to Medicap Pharmacy. We're dedicated to healthcare only, which means we'll fill your prescription quickly, and then we'll make time to listen, answer your questions, explain your prescriptions, and tell you about possible drug interactions.
Medicap Pharmacy will always make time for you.
Medicap Pharmacy, 1947 Bluegrass Circle, next to Texas Roadhouse in Cheyenne. or call 635-3712.
Taco John's presents Olay the Day Pep Talks.
Human history has shown anything is possible with inspiration and hard work. The 4-minute mile, a man on the moon, a water skiing squirrel, and now sirloin steak burritos from Taco John's.
Sirloin steak burritos are back at Taco John's. Stuffed with hand-carved sirloin steak and bold flavors like the melty, savory grilled cheese steak burrito, plus steak and shrimp or steak and potato olays. And for the morning, 2 steak and egg breakfast burritos. Sirloin steak burritos are back, but only for a limited time. Olay the Day at Taco John's.
Summer is just beginning, and it's a great time to plan all your home improvement and remodeling projects. This is Lexi.
And this is Aaron from Platte Valley Bank. A home equity line of credit can help finance summer projects, but can also fund summer fun like a boat, ATV, or even a convertible.
Stop in either Cheyenne location and we'll show you the hidden value in your home with a home equity line of credit from Platte Valley Bank.
Platte Valley Bank, member FDIC, equal housing lender. Credit subject to approval. Certain restrictions apply.
When you say Mondello Pizzeria, think authentic Italian. When you say Mondello Pizzeria, think made fresh from scratch. When you say Mondello Pizzeria, think great pizza, delicious Philly cheesesteak, superb hot and cold Italian sandwiches, meatballs, sausage, and special subs, calzones, crisp salads, and great service. When you say Mondello's Pizzeria, think unmatched Italian taste. Mondello's Pizzeria, 1507 Stillwater Avenue, your only true Italian stop for lunch or dinner.
If you're looking for fun and style, then the new 2019 Kia Optima has what you need. And here at Kia of Cheyenne, we can help you own one. I'm AJ Miller, and the 2019 Kia Optima will reward your daily drive with comfort, performance, and advanced engineering. Kia Optima technology, your phone allows access to remote lock or unlock, climate control, 24-hour roadside assistance, and much more. Come in, call 775-0123, or go to KiaofCheyenne.com. We'll make it easy.
Is the touchscreen on your phone or tablet cracked or broken? Buying a new device could cost up to $1,000. Or you could let the local experts at High West Digital Solutions save you hundreds of dollars. We can replace your touchscreen in as little as a day, and your satisfaction is guaranteed. Visit our website at hwds.com or call 307-245-4333 and speak to a real live human being. High West Digital Solutions, the best choice, the local choice, the right choice for you.
We're taking Cheyenne, Wyoming Sports Talk Radio to a whole new level. This is Wyoming Sports Talk Today.
Don't look at me. I think these people are completely nuts.
Stop this crazy thing! And it's only here on AM 1480 KRAE.
Welcome back to Wyoming Sports Talk Today, as we have done throughout the course of the season for the 18 and under Extreme. We get to introduce you to a player. Another young lady from the Torrington area, Britney Lopez, joins us. So first off, we welcome you to Wyoming Sports Talk Today. And if I understand the notes right, going to be a senior next year.
Yes.
Pretty fired up about being, it's like finally the last year of being a trailblazer, right?
Yeah, finally senior year.
So, you know, as we always ask, and we'll get into the softball portion, being a senior, have you already thought about after high school, college? Is there something that is in your offing that you want to go to college for, whether you want to be a nurse or you want to be a lawyer, whatever the case may be?
I actually want to be a physical therapist. I've spent a lot of time at PT, and eventually I just had some interest in it. So,
and at least talk about the future of at least post Torrington High School. Our notes as well too from Coach Adam Galicia. First year with the Cheyenne Extreme, but just give us a little background. Is this the first year playing softball for you, or how many years have you been at least involved in softball?
I've been playing softball for 7 years down in Torrington, and when our program no longer was a thing, I wanted to keep playing, so I decided to come up to Cheyenne and try out, and luckily I made it.
You know, and this year has been kind of the really ugly year weather-wise, and you would hope maybe next season it'll be a little bit better. But boy, that's a long drive, isn't it?
Yeah, it's a long drive.
But again, how often do you try to get down for practices?
I come to practice every single time we have it. So whether it be on the weekends or during the week, I will we carpool, the other Torrington gals that I could come with. We carpool and make it that way.
Nice little bit of it right there. At least make things a lot easier to get down to Cheyenne and at least compete for the Cheyenne Extreme. But talking about, so again, 7 years, first year with the Cheyenne Extreme, looking at least post-Torrington High School, again, at least next year, your senior year, are you looking to continue softball in the next level? Are you looking at those opportunities, or is it kind of like, if it doesn't happen, so be it?
I'm still undecided. I'd like to play, but I guess we'll just see next year on how things go.
And up at Torrington, besides softball, any other, at least, athletics you do for Torrington?
I do not. Once I had multiple knee surgeries, I decided to drop a few sports and just stick to one.
And let's talk about the knee surgery, because, matter of fact, you were coming back playing ball after having some work done your knees. Again, you want to be the physical therapist, so tell us a little bit all of the agony and pain that you had to go through just to play softball.
I had to work hard, like really hard in PT, because I was supposed to be released by December of this coming year, not by June. So I had to put a lot of work in at PT and just hope that they'd release me early.
How did the knee injury come about?
I was at basketball and I was changing direction and it just decided to go out.
Ooh, that sounds almost like Clay coming down after that bucket he had.
But again, that is a serious injury. Again, at least
I'm not making light of it.
No, I'm just saying it is something where those time estimates are pretty lengthy. But we talk about your first year with the Cheyenne Extreme. Talking about getting that injury, here you are recovered, or at least trying to get fully recovered 100%. Did you feel like this season was kind of raw from you? I mean, just talk about the emotions of, dealing with this injury, but also too of, sounds like you love softball, want to compete, and also to at least move on and now committed to at least the Cheyenne team. Did you feel kind of robbed, or just talk about the raw emotions of when you had that injury?
I was really upset when I had this injury because it's my second injury on this left leg. So one of my softball seasons got taken away, and I thought, wow, is my first year with Cheyenne Extreme going to get taken away? I put so much work in before tryouts and thought, wow, all that kind of went down the drain. But when they told me I had the opportunity to come back early, I did whatever I could.
What position did you play for the Extreme?
For Extreme, so far, I've only played second in the outfield. When I played in Torrington, I played shortstop and third.
Okay, so you're playing at second base, so obviously you got to be very key on that double play, shortstop. Usually, it'd be a 6-4-3. But also, too, you have to do that side to side, whether you're going to your left or going to your right. So let's be real honest here. How's that knee feel?
Honestly, my knee feels better than it did, like, after the first surgery. I feel more confident in it. So I feel good to just go full out.
Well, that's definitely good to hear. Now, regarding that injury, and again, going back to my previous question about at least kind of that raw emotion dealing with that injury, now that you're back recovered, playing some contests right now for the Extreme and still have plenty left to kind of prove out there, so to speak, on the field, is there some sort of kind of added drive right now? Have you established some goals for the remainder of this season for yourself? I mean, just talk about, here you have now this opportunity now to play for the Extreme.
Mm-hmm. I'd say my goal is obviously to make it through the season. I mean, I wasn't supposed to be back till December of next year. But I think the drive is, like my doctor said, you're good to go. Don't have any fear. So that's what I'm trying to go by.
The thing is, too, with the season being cut a little bit because of the knee injury, but also, too, you're getting your opportunity at the plate. You've been a DH for the most part for the Extreme. Tell us a little bit about, making contact, keeping fresh, even though you were kind of sidelined a little bit.
Making it back on the field was honestly really good. I think it was a little weird since these girls had a couple of tournaments on their backs than I didn't. So, making contact the first time, it was a boost of confidence saying, you can still do this.
Are you caught up? I mean, do you feel like you're ready to rock and roll all the way through? And again, we got a couple games here on Thursday, and then, of course, the trip southeast. So you think you're at your top of your game right now?
At the top of my game, no, not quite yet. But once I get into feel of things a little bit more, whether it be in the infield or at bat, I think I'll be pretty solid.
Kind of get into that groove of things and whatnot. It at least makes complete sense. Now, something we talk with Coach Galicia, and we ask other players as well too, and we'll ask you the same thing, Brittney. We look at the professional levels, or if not collegiate. Do you find yourself kind of watching, obviously College World Series on softball side has been over for about a month now, but do you find yourself watching collegiate softball, or especially here in 2019 where we do have the Technology World, YouTube, Periscope, or again, just online streaming, do you find yourself watching any semi-pro softball throughout the nation?
I do. I did watch the College World Series. I find it's pretty interesting to watch, seeing those girls work and what they are able to accomplish and stuff.
Well, Brittney, we want to wish you all the best, and we thank you for coming on by, and understand that you guys all made that quick trip down to Torrington to be with us here today, so we do appreciate that, and I know you guys got practice as well. Again, continued success. Good luck coming up here on Thursday for the doubleheader, and when you fly back to Florida as well.
All right, thank you.
Britney Lopez joining us here on 1480 KRAE Wyoming Sports Talk today. We're going to pay some bills. We'll be right back.
Summer is just beginning, and it's a great time to plan all your home improvement and remodeling projects. This is Lexi.
And this is Aaron from Platte Valley Bank. A home equity line of credit can help finance summer projects, but can also fund summer fun like a boat, ATV, or even a convertible.
Stop in either Cheyenne location and we'll show you the hidden value in your home with a home equity line of credit from Platte Valley Bank.
Platte Valley Bank, member FDIC, equal housing lender. Credit subject to approval. Certain restrictions apply.
Right now, it's time to head over to Jolly Rogers RV Sales, Parts, and Service for low prices on outstanding RVs in Wyoming. Your local, exclusive Jayco dealer wants you to check out their closeout deals, as well as their 2019 inventory of trailers, fifth wheels, and toy haulers. You can save up to 30% on select models with approved credit. You can find them at 6102 East Highway 30. Jolly Rogers RV Sales, Parts, and Service is a proud sponsor of LCCC men's and women's basketball, also our local high school teams too.
For almost 60 years, 1480 KRAE has been Cheyenne's home for good times and great oldies. Add to that live play-by-play sports featuring high school football and basketball, along with LCCC men's and women's basketball. Now combo that with KYOY FM, and you have Cheyenne and the area's only locally owned AM and FM radio stations. But we don't stop there. We also have 2 FM translators which serve the area with programming from both KRAE and KYOY, and that equals a lot of bang for your advertising dollar. Radio yesterday and now today, along with our websites, web streams, and digital ventures, makes us your one-stop shop. For more information, please call Larry Proetti at 307-637-0301.
Chick-fil-A is a proud supporter of our high school athletes at East, Central, and South. May the school year bring success to all of you. Before you start your day, stop by Chick-fil-A for a hearty, delicious, and satisfying breakfast, only at Windmill and Del Range. Breakfast is served Monday through Saturday from 6 in the morning till 10:30 a.m. Breakfast with Chick-fil-A, the most important meal of the day at Windmill and Del Range. First Tier Bank strives to remain competitive and offers some of the best CD rates in the community, as well as area banks and credit unions per Rate Watch reports. How does that make a difference to you? First Tier Bank can assist you in securing some of the best rates on CDs. First Tier Bank offers the personalized customer service you've grown accustomed to and deserve. Plus, feel confident that your finances are taken care of by a responsible, knowledgeable staff. Call 307-632-3500 and ask for Caitlin or Debbie. Member FDIC, equal housing lender.
You can actually get something good for your health at a drive-through window. When you order your next prescription from Medicap Pharmacy, call ahead and use our drive-through window. Or you can call for free delivery. You can even log on to Medicap.com and order a prescription refill. Your Medicap pharmacist will call you to make arrangements for pickup or delivery.
Medicap Pharmacy will always make time for you.
Medicap Pharmacy, 1947 Bluegrass Circle, next to Texas Roadhouse in Cheyenne. Or call 635-3712. Here's the latest weather forecast on 1480 KRAE.
For today, it'll be mostly sunny with highs around 77. For tonight, it'll be mostly cloudy with lows around 47. On Wednesday, it'll be mostly sunny with highs around 83. And on Wednesday night, it'll be mostly cloudy with lows around 51.
You bleed brown and gold? So do we. Wyoming Cowboys football and basketball is always front and center on the show. This is Wyoming Sports Talk Today, and it's here on AM 1480 KRAE. Serve LCCC men's and women's basketball, also our local high school teams too.
For almost 60 years, 1480 KRAE has been Cheyenne's home for good times and great oldies. Add to that live play-by-play sports featuring high school football and basketball, along with LCCC men's and women's basketball. Now combo that with KYOY FM, and you have Cheyenne and the area's only locally owned AM and FM radio stations. But we don't stop there. We also have 2 FM translators which serve the area with programming from both KRAE and KYOY, and that equals a lot of bang for your advertising dollar. Radio yesterday and now today, along with
with our websites, web streams, and digital ventures makes us your one-stop shop. For more information, please call Larry Proetti at 307-637-0301.
Chick-fil-A is a proud supporter of our high school athletes at East, Central, and South. May the school year bring success to all of you. Before you start your day, stop by Chick-fil-A for a hearty, delicious, and satisfying breakfast, only at Windmill and Del Range. Breakfast is served Monday through Saturday from 6 in the morning till 10:30 a.m. Breakfast with Chick-fil-A, the most important meal of the day at Windmill and Del Range. First Tier Bank strives to remain competitive and offers some of the best CD rates in the community, as well as area banks and credit unions per Rate Watch reports. How does that make a difference to you? First Tier Bank can assist you in securing some of the best rates on CDs. First Tier Bank offers the personalized customer service you've grown accustomed to and deserve. Plus, feel confident that your finances are taken care of by a responsible, knowledgeable staff. Call 307-632-3500 and ask for Caitlin or Debbie. Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender.
You can actually get something good.
Today has been having the kids clinic earlier. Drove by Powers Field. Parking lot was full. The Powers Field was pretty full up as well, too, with kids in their T-shirts. So at least good to see that folks did show up for that, and at least parents brought out the little ones to go at least learn some skills from Post 6. But again, at least contest tonight, 6:30 over at Powers Field.
All right, we're going to move on now to NBA notes. And I read this over on our sister station this morning. Now,
and this is something that has been out in the open for a while.
For a long time, right?
Kind of like another media outlet that's kind of slow on the news. But at least Adam Silver's come out and also to the NBA front office.
I really don't like this guy.
For me, I don't. Again, Adam Silver, he's a joke of at least of a commissioner. I think he's
like a Goodell.
Well, yeah. I mean, right now, I think out of all the commissioners, Bettman's probably your best one. If you had to choose one,
I'm gonna go Manfred. I go Manfred.
He's an idiot. I think Manfred he's clumped with all three of Goodell with Silver. Let's be honest. Manfred has made questionable decisions. Even talked to fans down in Miami of what he allowed with that at least Marlins franchise basically getting dismantled, and Manfred has had questionable at least decisions in MLB. But I think Bettman has been a good voice, a good leader for NHL. But the three others of at least three other major sports, no.
Okay, so
they're all
you're the clump Manfred in with the Silver. And,
I think that's fair. Again, tell me what Manfred has done. What has he done?
I think Major League Baseball right now is at its height.
I don't think it's because of Manfred. I don't think it's because of him.
I think with the current collective bargaining agreement that's in place, again, the interleague play is still huge. Just a little bit of this and that. I mean, I think Manfred kind of stays out of the spotlight only when he's needed, and that's what I like about a commissioner. He's not.
Usually when he's in the spotlight,
he's
putting his foot in his mouth and he's saying something stupid.
Well, but he's not in the way right now. Guys like Silver and Goodell, they love the spotlight, and they're just as dumb when they're in the spotlight. Silver has lost my respect, and it goes back 3 years ago. But this new deal that Silver has brought up where NBA governors, right?
That sounds even more stupid.
Doesn't that sound stupid? So when I buy an NBA franchise, I'm not the owner of it. I'm a governor of it.
Well, in their explanation about the whole thing is it kind of, lack of a better at least phrasing or at least terminology for it is kind of puts the term of owner, slavery.
Yeah,
again,
I mean,
we own these players and everything, and it's a bad term for these teams and team owners or governors or whatever. Governors, doesn't even put it even more pretty. I mean, it is a kind of PC move out in this kind of day and age where even for me, I get the understanding of, hey, we're not trying to, go back to kind of racism route or at least look at least at the past. But, does anyone think and assume that? The players have come out and it seems like it's more an issue with the players that are bringing this up more than does any average day Joe fan or at least anyone watching the NBA think, owners,
cares.
It associates with that?
CBS Sports reported the changes made due to concerns the term owner can be viewed as racially insensitive in a league where the vast majority of the players are African American, and the majority of those with ownership stakes are Caucasian. That's why this is all coming about. So, again,
I have never in my life made that association.
I never have either.
Again, owners, or at least ownership groups, or people who own these teams, again, they're so out of the spotlight where I don't even, half the time, who knows even who owns these teams.
And we're talking about men on these NBA teams. Probably the worst paid man on that team makes $1 million. I don't think that's slavery in my book.
I again understand what they're trying to pass off right now of how they're changing this about in the NBA, but it is not a logical explanation. And also, too, it seems like this is more a player issue, or at least a player brought up issue, than I think it is of offensive to the fans. Again, for me, as seeing it, and here I am as a white man, thinking about this. It is not that big of an issue. I've never associated one or the other of the NBA of saying, oh, okay, here's this team and their owner is this and blah, 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 and put labels on everything. No, it's, hey, I'm going to watch this team. I'm going to enjoy it. And if they lose, I'm unhappy. Again, it's a sport. I've never put those terminology with anything, whether it is NBA, NHL,
and unfortunately,
NFL. It's stupid.
In today's world, it just shows how ignorant we're getting.
Yeah.
I mean, that's the bottom line. This country as a whole is getting ignorant by the minute. So here's what I'm going to say. And to the NBA referees, you want to change your name. You don't want to be known as referees anymore. Because that to me, a referee means there's a fight going on. And we need somebody there to break it up.
I guess. I don't know what you're trying to bring up right now.
No, I'm trying
to
be
being as dumb as
I'm being a smart arse. Let's call them constables instead of being referees. They're
Police?
there to they're making sure that that nobody breaks the rules. So let's call them constables.
Whatever. Again, if you're trying to be funny, it's really stupid and lame. But
well, again, so is this, you knucklehead.
I get that, but I'm just saying you're on the same vein of where this is just absolutely ridiculous, and why this needs to happen. I don't know. The NBA just trying to fit into that PC counterculture that is going on. I don't understand.
May I say this about Adam Silver? You're a butthead. Beat it. Get rid of this guy. He needs to go. And
I'm just saying, is this as big of an issue as the NBA is trying to make it out to be, or is it just something that we're trying to appease a few fans and maybe a few players that have an issue with this? Again, if you are that cynical, or at least that insane to put that association, or at least put two and two together, that you are that fixated of the term owner and realizing that yes, you have a majority of black players on your team and it may look bad, then maybe mentally there's something wrong with you of making that association. Again, for me, I don't. It's a team. Hey, he owns that team, or they, or whatever it may be.
They purchased the team. What does that mean when you purchase the team?
They pay their employees. Again, they are employees.
They are employees, yes. I'm the owner of this radio station. Yeah. You are my employee. I pay you. I don't go around and crack a whip on you all the time. No, I don't. It says, according to USA Today, a few teams, including the Golden State Warriors and Houston Rockets, still use the term owner in team media guides. The Philadelphia 76ers characterize their executives as managing partner and co-managing
that happened. I think it will be.
The Los Angeles Clippers list Steve Ballmer, who bought the team in 2014, as chairman on the team's official website.
That's fine. I mean, you can use whatever terms. I don't really care. That doesn't mean anything.
Again, we're just dumb as
let's be honest, WWE does that as well too. Hey, it's Chairman Vince McMahon. It's not owner. So, and again, it's been like that for however long. But hey, whatever terms you want to use, go right ahead. But again, to outright ban or just say no, you cannot say yourself as an owner is a bit ridiculous. And I think the NBA is absolutely wrong in this. They are they're just crazy about this. Adam Silver, you're becoming more of a joke day by day. You're getting on the level of Roger Goodell of just being an absolute just knucklehead of a commissioner.
I mean, are we trying to be just so sensitive to everyone's needs in the country?
I'm just saying, I don't think it's is this as big of an issue as what the NBA is trying to make it or the media is? I really don't think so. I really don't. Because who is making this assumption? Who is making this association, especially with the NBA?
Have you heard anybody step up and say, I don't want to work for this team.
I was going to say probably Anthony Davis.
Well, that obviously,
but it wasn't for hey, I'm under an owner term.
Yeah, but they did treat him like dog poo there, so I will give him that. But he never mentioned that he's being enslaved working for the for the Pelicans. But see, here's the deal.
It's hard to say that, especially when you're making millions. Where I should accuse you of putting me in slave labor here.
Well, until you prove otherwise.
Oh, prove. I've done everything.
But here's what I've got a problem with all of these athletes. You sign a deal, okay? No one forced you to sign a 5 or 4 year deal.
No.
Okay? And I'm going to pick on Ricky Henderson because I remember this.
And you do have the also to option if you are in that deal, you can get out of it, you can opt out, and also to get traded as well too.
And this is why you have
retire,
or you have an agent working for you.
Yeah.
Because you're not smart enough to do it. So you have this agent work out all these deals. And I always think of Ricky Henderson. Ricky Henderson was PO'd at the Oakland Athletics because Kirby Puckett at one time had signed a contract that made a little bit more than Ricky Henderson. And Ricky said, I'm not going to honor my contract. But you signed it. You said, I'm happy with the amount of money that the A's gave him exactly what he wanted. But Kirby got a little bit more, and Ricky copped an attitude.
Yeah.
So where is...
Which he can. Again, he has all the right.
Now, where's the dignity of the athlete, again, who signs a 4-year deal, and I'm just going to throw out a number, $20 million, okay? And I'll pick on Sean Livingston. And Sean is probably one of the nicer guys that I know in the NBA. But here he is. He's signing a 4-year deal at $20 million. And he's like, you know what? I'm not happy with this deal. After 2 years, he's not happy because Nick Proetti is making $22 million.
Which we see all the time. It's not even the NBA. It's throughout sports. Again,
exactly.
You can do that. You can say, hey, I'm going to opt out. I want traded or I want renegotiation.
So where is the dignity amongst the athletes? You're the one who signed it. No one forced you to sign it. You're the one who made the demands.
Yeah.
And then if I'm not mistaken in baseball, and we'll go back to Arenado this season, he wanted X. The Rockies were going to offer this amount. They were going to go to arbitration. And before they got to arbitration, they decided on a number. Everybody was happy.
Yeah.
So the thing is, these athletes who have representation, no less, are talking to these owners or somebody within that organization.
Some of those, at least management style, at least, again, whoever representatives of these players usually, are getting the best interest. Also, too, they're looking after their back pocket as well, too, of percentages. But that's neither here nor there. But again, some of these managers, they ask the world for their players. They try to get the best interest, especially because again, it does line in their pocket too.
You sign a contract, so you're basically saying, I'm going to work for you, and you are going to pay me this amount.
Yeah.
Every year I work for you. But all of a sudden...
even outside of at least athletic sports, whether it's pro, semi-pro, there are jobs in average Joes, that have to do something like that of, hey, I am committing to working with you. I understand, again, I've been there where, hey, I accept the knowledge that I'm getting paid this much an hour, or this is my salary.
Right.
It happens not even on the pro level. It happens to everyday life.
I think
this is nothing out of the norm that at least professional athletes are doing.
I think the athletes are the biggest sphinx in the world, because how dare you? How dare you say, gosh, I'm underpaid, when you're the one who signed the damn contract? No one forced you to.
Mm-hmm.
You could have held out. Look what Antonio Brown did. I'm not happy. I'm not going to play.
And he got his money with the Raiders.
And he got paid with the Raiders. Now, if he doesn't play in 2 years because he wants more, and I don't know what his deal is. I think it's, 3 or 4 years?
I don't know.
But, why can't these guys honor? That's my problem. I got a lot of these problems here, again, not with team owners and who plays for him. I got problems with these guys who don't want to honor their contracts. And it's in all sports: hockey, baseball, football, basketball. There's guys that, I'm not playing. Well, good. I'm not paying you. And that's the way it should be.
Well, you kind of come off of really authoritarian on your ideology of regarding the contracts. Again, I understand it, but thankfully in these sports and these leagues that you do have the option where, hey, if you aren't happy, there's other ways to deal with it of where, again, you can get released, you can, again, renegotiate, you can opt out, you can move on, be traded. Again, you have options. So it's not like you are set in stone on this contract like, others are, or at least where, again, average Joe American has to commit to that job. If they like it or hate it, they don't have those other options, or at least not vast, entities.
You could always look for another job.
Yeah, absolutely. And again, I think obviously with NBA players or NFL or whatever professional league, you have those options. You can look for a different team. You can look for a different sport. You could go to a different league in sometimes.
It's a little bit different, though, with the average Joe. The average Joe, like you, can give me, which would be customary, 2 weeks' notice saying, hey, Dad, I'm moving on to Las Vegas. I got a better job there. Hey, good. Just give me your 2 weeks, and we'll try to get somebody in here to replace you. But it doesn't work like that in the NBA. I don't want to play for you no more.
Yeah.
I'm going to hold out. That's what happens. Or, again, you use Antonio Brown as the example. I don't want to play for this team anymore. I'm holding out.
I'm just saying of what your ideal world is, whatever, again, where you're trying to force them to fill that contract, I don't think is right. Again, where we are with professional sports of where athletes have these options, they are not pigeonholed and they are not under that authoritarian kind of rulership or whatever. Again, as it goes back to the core of, hey, owners, and we're going to assume that now, or at least put the tagline that if we have owners in NBA, that, again, with majority of black athletes, it's not going to be seen as slaves. Again, let's be honest, in all pro sports, nothing about any of this says that you're under slave or, again, dictatorship kind of rules or at least work conditions, because, again, you have options. You're not forced to play on that team. You're not forced to be in that city. You're not forced to get that money. You have options. You can go somewhere else. You can renegotiate. You can do whatever you want. You have that freedom.
That's called being
any of this
free
that
agent.
tells, yeah, absolutely. Again, any of this tells me that there is slave labor or at least slave conditions, especially in the core of the NBA with Adam Silver bringing this up. Absolutely not.
I think
it's far from it.
I think he's a Looney Tune, and I think he needs to go. I really do. I think what he's going to do now, and again, the average Joe fan, you and me, we're also average Joe fans, and we obviously keep our eye on this stuff. But the average Joe fan doesn't care. And
I don't think they're putting two and two together.
Yeah, he's looking at Kroenke. He's
owner.
looking at Kroenke in Denver as the owner of the team, and Connolly's the general manager. So, and again, too, are you going to take away that position, general manager? He's the guy that's probably making most of the decisions. Because to me,
the owners don't do anything.
Yeah, well, I mean, to me, manager, he's the boss.
Yeah.
So it's not the coach; it's the general manager who's the boss, and what he says goes. So again, Silver, I think what he's done to the NBA is I don't want to say it's a disgrace. He's a disgrace as the commissioner. That's all.
He's as big of a joke as Roger Goodell is, and again, as much as I think Manfred's getting there, he's not on that level, but he's slowly there. Again, the guy who is, he's not perfect, but he's a good example of what a commissioner should be, or at least a governing, or at least a manager style of a league would be Gary Bettman. He is your pinnacle, or at least what you want to strive to, what he's doing for that league.
About 5 years ago, we were ready to string him up when we had the lockout.
But he got all things figured out, and here we are. I think NHL is growing faster than probably any other sport, and it is one of the most exciting sports right now to watch of what is happening in hockey, at least around the world.
All right, real quick, I know we got to get to the top of the hour, which we are at right now, but I just want to mention this. Former top Sacramento Kings executive was sentenced Monday to 7 years in prison for siphoning $13.4 million from the team. Jeffrey David, who's 44, the team's former chief revenue officer, pleaded guilty in December to wire fraud and aggravated identity theft. David diverted the sponsorship payments of 5 companies to a bank account he controlled from October 2012 through July 2016, using the money to buy and remodel Southern California beachfront properties, pay for a private jet membership, and pay off all credit card bills. Why didn't I ever?
It just never nothing ever goes right for Sacramento and the Kings for whatever reason. So you got to deal with that. Also, too, again, there is still that ongoing, and not to make light of it, but as well too for the Kings franchise, you still have to deal with the ongoing investigation with Luke Walton. of the sexual assault charges, which is still underway. So again, it piles on this Kings franchise with just more bad news.
Well, and now the Kings have received more than $13.2 million in restitution to date, according to the Department of Justice. But the deal is, I mean, how dare you? You're stealing.
That's a lot of money,
and you're making good money.
But the funny thing as well, too, of a franchise like that, where again, that's a lot of money. How does that slip by? How does that go unnoticed? How did he go about doing
and
this
again,
that you could not
money.
find? Yeah, again, how are you not aware that these monies are not with the team or going somewhere else? It's amazing.
Oh, man. All right, well, we got to sneak in hour number 2, and when we come back, we have some more basketball notes. Matter of fact, we're going to talk Golden State Warriors' Andre Iguodala when we come back after this.
This is 1480 KRAE Cheyenne.
Also being heard on translator K266CC Cheyenne at 101.1 FM.
What you are about to hear is a sports talk radio show unlike any other that has ever before been broadcast in the capital city of Cheyenne, Wyoming, USA. This is Cheyenne, Wyoming's Sports Talk Authority. The Wyoming Cowboys, the Denver Broncos, the Colorado Rockies, and the Denver Nuggets. The show is local, it's regional, and yes, the show is national as well. Wyoming Sports Talk Today is on the air. If they're talking sports on the radio in Cheyenne, this is the place it happens. This is Wyoming Sports Talk Today.
It is hour number 2. We want to thank all our fine sponsors. Chick-fil-A of Cheyenne, corner of Windmill and Del Range, right across from Powers Field. And again, for a limited time, as I hold it in my hands right here, a couple of coupons. One is for a limited time Smokehouse BBQ Bacon Sandwich. That looks good. That looks really, really good. And also for a limited time, Ray & Cindy have their small strawberry passion tea lemonade going on for you. Well, you can get a large one if you want, but that coupon there I have is for a small one. Chick-fil-A offering up 3 squares Monday through Saturday. If you haven't tried their breakfast, may I encourage you to do that. 2 convenient drive-thrus. Again, they're directly across from Menards and right across from Powers Field. Chick-fil-A of Cheyenne. Jolly Rogers RV Sales and Service, your exclusive home for Jayco RVs, fifth wheels, and travel trailers over on Highway 30. Kia of Cheyenne on Nation Way, your home for a bevy of Kia 2019 Kias needing new homes. So see my good friend AJ, Greg, and the entire crew over there, and they're going to make you an offer you can't refuse when you shop Kia of Cheyenne on Nation Way. Platte Valley Bank ×2. The original location over on Vanda High, the east side location at the corner of College and Pershing. Medicap Pharmacy on Bluegrass Circle next door to Texas Roadhouse. Lennox Auto Body, founded by Dick Lennox, tradition carried on by his daughter Heather. 25 years they have been fixing them up and taking good care of them for you. Lennox Auto Body over on Dunn Avenue, the Auto Glass and Detail Center on Pershing Boulevard. First Year Bank at 1508 Stillwater Avenue, open Monday through Friday. Again, annual percentage yield right now on a 27-month CD, 3.1%. Mondello's Pizzeria, fine Italian cuisine. Again, whether you do their Philly cheesesteak sandwich, maybe you do their meatball marinara sandwich. How about a calzone? How about Joe's Pizza? Oh, my goodness. Fresh made dough, fresh ingredients, and it is all delicious. Again, Paisan cuisine at its best. Not trucked in, made right there at Mondello's Pizzeria, 1507 Stillwater Avenue, Suite D in the Greenway Commons. Today, Tuesday, do I say any more than Taco Tuesday at Taco John's? The locations here in Cheyenne, and of course on the South Greeley Highway. Look for the food truck while they are rebuilding the new Taco John's on South Greeley Highway. And again, we get things underway. It's our scoreboard. It's brought to you by Pepsi of Cheyenne. We go to Nick.
Local baseball for today, as I mentioned a few times, but at least reminding folks, Cheyenne Post 6 in action today at 6:30 is the start time over at Powers Field, as they will host the Catalyst Cardinals in the alumni game. So head on out to Powers Field, support the Cheyenne Post Sixers, and cheer them on, at least in today's lone contest, as they'll be at least home. It's been a while since Post 6 has been at home. Again, Powers Field, 6:30 tonight. And also, too, collegiate baseball at least underway tonight, 5 o'clock on ESPN. Game 2 of the College World Series between Michigan and Vanderbilt. Michigan got the win last night, so they have the opportunity tonight in Omaha, Nebraska to get their national championship if they are able to defeat Vanderbilt one more time.
Major League Baseball, Rangers Tigers coming up at 5 p.m. from Comerica. In Detroit, it's the Yankees and the Blue Jays. In the Bronx, Mets Phils tonight, Citizens Bank Ballpark in Philly. 5:05, we'll have the Padres Orioles at Oriole Park at Camden Yards. White Sox Bo Sox at Fenway Park. Kansas City will take on the Indians at Progressive Field. Nats Marlins at Marlins Park. 6 o'clock hour, Braves and the Cubbies at Wrigley. Pirates Astros at Minute Maid in interleague play. Mariners and Brewers, they will hook up interleague play at Miller Park. Rays Twins Target Field. Also in the 6 o'clock hour, Athletics Cardinals at Busch. It will be the Dodgers and the Diamondbacks at Chase this evening at 7:40. Right now, 103 degrees in Phoenix. Rockies Giants again at Oracle Park. It will be Chichi Gonzalez. Not Chichi Rodriguez, but Chichi Gonzalez on the hill for the Rockies. He has no numbers to speak of. And it will be Mad Bum for the Giants. He is 3-7 with a 4.28 ERA.
You can see that game also, too, on ESPN tonight.
I'll find the game.
They've been back-to-back. At least for ESPN, they've shown 4 days in a row, I do believe, nonstop San Francisco Giants.
Well, you get to watch them again, and you get to watch them on AT&T.
But it's surprising of where, for 4 games in a row, ESPN has shown the Giants, whether it is 2 against the Dodgers, now 2 against the Rockies. Okay.
And it will be the Reds and the Angels interleague play at Angel Stadium in Anaheim coming up in the 8 o'clock hour. Our scoreboard brought to you by Pepsi of Cheyenne.
Yo, this is your cup holder talking. You know me, the little round thing between your car seats. Now, listen, we need to talk. Now, I normally have a nice cold bottle of Mountain Dew in me, but at the moment, I'm empty. That's right, no Mountain Dew. Nothing in here but a couple of quarters and a dime. A fully capable cup holder like me just carrying your loose change, it's embarrassing. Look, I'm not made for loose change. I'm round like a bottle of Mountain Dew. Glistening, cold, and delicious. I'm made to keep Mountain Dew within reach at all times, so you're never far from that incredible bold citrus kick whenever you need it. Just inches from your hand. So find a store already, grab some Dew, toss it back, then place that bottle where it belongs, and put that loose change back in your pocket. Mountain Dew. Do the Dew.
Got something to say? Then get it off your chest right now. Phone lines are open at 307-514-1071. Make your opinion count and call the show. Wyoming Sports Talk today.
Welcome back to Wyoming Sports Talk today. Well, he is now on a book tour, and I have not had the chance. I really want to read this one not because it's Andre Iguodala of the Golden State Warriors, but the book is entitled "The Sixth Man."
Yeah,
and realistically,
which he's embraced.
And you could easily change this, go back about 15, 20 years, and have Kevin McHale. When he was with the Boston Celtics. I mean, this could be an identical type of book because, again, he was part of a Celtics dynasty at the time.
Yeah.
And again, Andre Iguodala, part of a dynasty in Oakland / now San Francisco. There's also been a book out about him before. I can't remember the name of the book. I'll have to look it up here. But
again,
about him being, the forward that he is. And again, I'll find it here.
But either way, though, again, Andre Iguodala with the season being over, especially for the Golden State Warriors.
I don't mean to interrupt you here, Nick. The book is called Andre Iguodala: The Inspiring Story of One of Basketball's Most Skilled Forwards, basketball biography book by Clayton Jeffries. So there's a book out about him. Anyway, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Well, either way, though, again, as he's at least written his own book and doing a book tour that's on media spotlights, whether it was CNBC, he's been all over the place just promoting it as you would. No surprise there, but at least some interesting notes, or at least there was one interview that he did. This is being on the Breakfast Club, which you can at least see online, kind of a little podcast, at least interview style, and it's had many at least celebrities on throughout to at least whether it's music or sports. Andre Iguodala was on this, and it's about a lengthy interview. I think quite some time, about maybe a 40-some-odd minute interview, but a lot of topics were brought up during this, including at least Andre Iguodala talking about Mark Jackson being blackballed, so to speak, from the NBA, which I think I think if we start there, he's not too far off from it. I really, again, Mark Jackson, who, again, developed, and it maybe kind of got blackballed.
He's the architect of this Warriors team.
He certainly is, and at least the Warriors were at least grateful enough, or at least did show those respects, especially winning that first ever championship and kind of acknowledging Mark Jackson and what he did. Again, that was ownership of deciding, hey, it wasn't working out for us, so we got to get someone else that's going to, at least elevate this team even further, take it one more step, and that was with the decision to go with Steve Kerr. But I think there is some validity in that, where Mark Jackson, where again, guy now back on commentary, doing that for ESPN, being a part of the NBA games, even though he's not really being entertained as a head coach. Why, though? Why hasn't Mark Jackson found another head coaching position where you know what he can do? He developed this dynasty. He developed these players. He developed Steph to get into that caliber player where Don Nelson was having difficulty, or at least he was kind of on his way out and just kind of, on half speed, so to speak, being the head coach before Mark got in. But, you know that he knows the game well. He's played the game. You know that, at least with commentating, it does work where they can make that transition, i.e., again, with Mark Jackson, with Steve Kerr, where you know his track record. How are other teams I think, how is he not a head coach right now?
I think Mark Jackson still feels the pain of being released by the Warriors, and I don't think he wants to go through it again.
Yeah.
And again, let's look back in time, like you said. He built the foundation for the Warriors. Steve Kerr came in, and all he did was put a few coats of paint on the house.
Yeah.
I mean, Mark Jackson built this thing from the ground up.
Yeah.
And Steve Kerr said, okay, we need to do this, we need to do that. Here's some curtains, I mean, the house was intact. He just made some additions to it.
Steve Kerr just took it to that next level, or at least got him to that championship quality team.
But when Mark Jackson was given his release by the Warriors.
Well, he was fired.
Yeah, given his release. That's what I'm going to say.
Well, I go harsh on that word again. Yeah, he was fired, though. He
took that pretty personal.
I think rightfully so, especially I think of seeing what has happened so far with this Warriors team, where they've been so successful, been a dynasty, getting these championships. I would think, you would be hurt because you took a team where Mark Jackson was at from the Don Nelson years with at least a solid core, with a developing at least Steph Curry, Klay Thompson, Draymond Green, a part of those teams. You were developing them into this, and for Mark Jackson, had some rough times in the postseason, but he was the guy that got him into the postseason. This is a Warriors team that didn't see the postseason, back at least what we're talking about, 2012, 2011, where it was quite some time. There was a few seasons layoff where the Warriors were absolutely terrible. They weren't even sniffing the playoffs.
Right.
Even when they got into the playoffs, at least in Don Nelson years, the We Believe Warriors, when they upset the Dallas Mavericks as the number 1 seed, again, they came in as the 8th seed. They snuck into those playoffs. They had a hard time getting it there, but for Mark Jackson, he was developing into that powerhouse, getting them out again. Their first, at least, stint of the playoffs of at least what has been kind of a consistent theme, or at least year by year for the Golden State Warriors. You go back at least 2013, 2014, their first series, number 6 seed taking on a number 3 seed Denver Nuggets, where they had no business beating the Nuggets team, especially on the road. There at the Pepsi Center, where that Nuggets team that had one Andre Iguodala on them, where they only had 3 losses at home, still took care of business and upset the Denver Nuggets in that playoff series, their first ever playoff series win in quite some time.
Well, and again, you look back at the Mark Jackson time with the Warriors, he did not get along with management.
No.
He brought in some questionable assistant coaches where he fought with them as well, too.
Yeah.
So I think, and again.
Well, if we go back to Andre Iguodala regarding Mark Jackson, again, this is our opinion about what is going on with Mark Jackson. I think he absolutely should be a head coach. I think he could do that with any other team of developing.
Do I think he's probably realizing back in 2014 when he was let go by the Warriors that he's looked back on those, 5 years, he's looked back and said, if I would have done this differently. And again, understand, Mark Jackson, he's, as you mentioned, and I remember his days with the New York Knicks, a very good basketball player.
Yeah.
But again, too, also a fiery type of guy with an ego.
Yeah.
And again, you still have to answer to
and I think
the upper echelon.
I think Steve Kerr is on that same vein as well. You see him get emotional. You see him get intense and
Steve Kerr, though, came from, once he came from the Bulls and then he got into coaching, he's always where he's been at. He's won.
That's true. Even in his time with San
They brought him in, and boom, he's a winner. Jackson has been architects. He's been brought in to try to fix things, and in the situation.
Well, and again, that's surprising. Where you have a Knicks team that is looking to at least get an architect type, or at least get fixed up. The Phoenix Suns or another team. Just to name those two franchises that are just at the bottom of the heap right now, just having tough time about it, getting going and just doing anything with those franchises. Those are two that come to my mind of how have you not reached out? How is he, again, Mark Jackson, not a head coach in the NBA at this point in time? I think he knows what he's doing. He knows the game of basketball pretty damn well. We saw that what he did as a head coach, of what he did and molded this young talent, this young team into where it is now of a dynasty. If he stuck on probably for 14, 15, at least till probably here in 2019, I think we still see the same dynasty warriors of what we're seeing right now, even under Mark Jackson. I think he had that opportunity. He was going to get that team to that level as a possibility. But again, I don't sell short Steve Kerr. Obviously, hey, he's brought 3 championships in 5 years to this team. Obviously, that's what he's been doing as a head coach. He's continued off that at least architecture that Mark Jackson did. So, kudos to both of them. But going back to Andre Iguodala in this book tour of what he talked about Mark Jackson,
right.
His opinion of why he's being blackballed by the NBA, that being Mark Jackson, at least this is a quote from that interview with Andre Iguodala. He goes, quote, one particular issue was his views on gender or marriage or what the Bible says on your sexuality. And the head of our business, Rick Welts, he's celebrated as one of the top execs in sports on the business side, and he's gay. So there was conflicts with that. That was widespread, end quote, by Andre Iguodala. So again, we know Mark Jackson as well too. He's very vocal. I do believe that he's actually a pastor as well.
He's the kind of guy who lives by a certain standard, and he doesn't let the way folks think or what they say.
Well, again, he
feels.
has very also again going back and dissecting that quote.
His life.
But again, he is very devout Christian. He is open about that.
Absolutely.
Again, he is very vocal about that. He was with that as a head coach, even as a broadcaster. We know that. But Andre is saying his beliefs and his thinking is basically bipolar, or at least polar opposites of the NBA, and the NBA doesn't want him anywhere associated of that league because of what we just talked about.
Mm-hmm.
We're having those kind of PC issues, and the NBA is saying, no, we don't want that. We don't want that culture in here. We're going to move on. Is there some validity in that? Again, Andre Iguodala being on the inside, being around these teams, being in those meetings, is there some validity in that? I wouldn't be surprised, especially what we just talked about with the NBA and Adam Silver. I would not be surprised this is one of the reasons why Mark Jackson is being at least blackballed by the NBA.
Well, and again, too, I know he would rather roam the sidelines, but he has his own agenda. And until the ownership, till the governors, whatever team out there would like his leadership, they're going to have to do. I think Mark Jackson's going to be this way. It's done my way, or I'll take the highway. Because he's not afraid. He's not afraid to pack up and leave.
I would not doubt if you talk to Mark Jackson, in not even an interview, but again, man to man, and just have a sit down conversation with him. I would not be surprised if he wanted to get back into at least head coaching, that he has a drive that he wants to, but for some reason teams are not reaching out or teams are not interested, don't want to do anything a part of him. And as Andre is talking about him just being 86 from the league, or the league doesn't want any portion of him associated with the NBA, could be a valid reason. But I would not be surprised. Again, Mark Jackson probably doesn't want to be a commentator. He has that head coaching drive, and he saw that he can be successful.
Let me ask you this question, and I know we need to take a break here, about Mark Jackson. And I'm going to be on the devil's advocate side. You get fired by the Warriors. Again, had some problems with management, ownership, governors. And anyway, again, this is a country club. All of these team governors, I'm sorry, ladies and gentlemen, team owners,
just stop being an idiot.
I'm just saying, I had that story here, Silver, and it just drives me nuts. But all of these team owners, it's a country club. And I'm sure things that were said by, and again, Warriors ownership is a little different. I mean, they are pretty, dare I say the word liberal. I mean, they're pretty easygoing. But the thing is, it gets around. You don't really, why did you get rid of Mark? Well, because of this. Well, some of these owners don't want to deal with the attitude or the intensity.
Well, and again, that goes back also to a more, at least, topics that Andre Iguodala did bring up today, especially regarding the, at least, Warriors, at least ownership. It'll be a small, like, a little part before we take a break, but he also, too, did mention that at least ownership, same with the front office of the Golden State Warriors, they've been lying. Especially throughout this playoffs, regarding at least players' health, team situations, at least where contract negotiations are at, or at least commitments to players. Andre was very vocal about that, just basically came out and said, and just kind of paraphrasing, that they basically have been lying to kind of paint this pretty picture, or at least keep people on not so much of an edge of basically saying, hey, yeah, Kevin Durant's going to come back. He's going to be here, or, again, DeMarcus Cousins is going to be healthy.
But didn't I tell you, too? I said they were forced to bring Durant back. Remember that? They were, after they lost the 2 in Oakland, the Warriors were forced to bring Durant back.
And I think absolutely Game 5.
And I think Iguodala, who played in a lot of pain during the playoffs,
he was forced out there as well.
Yeah, I'd say he.
And
was
that's what
about 75%.
At least in that interview, he basically said that we were rushed out there. We were forced out there to win, at least the pressure to win 3 championships in a row, to get that three-peat, to continue to be Warriors, or at least be champions and continue this dynasty. Especially because, again, the end game was to get Kevin Durant, or at least keep him on Clay, keep everyone happy, but also to garner that interest to, if you did lose someone, hey, we're still a winning team. What other big superstar wants to come join us so we can win even further on?
And it might be interesting to note, too, with Iguodala's book coming out, who are the other Warriors that are going to step up to the plate and say something? It doesn't matter that Clay is coming up for, contract negotiations. He's a free agent. It doesn't matter that Durant is going to be a free agent. Steph Curry is probably the quietest of the group. Mm-hmm. He probably won't say anything. But my point is, who else is going to step up and say, Draymond Green? He's not afraid to put a microphone in his face.
Yeah. I think Draymond would be up at front and honest. It seems like he is with his post-game interviews.
I think he's a definite honest guy. And if I put a microphone in Draymond's ear and say, hey, take us behind the scenes, Draymond, what the hell went on in the locker room?
I don't think he would have to say much. I think Andre has probably said that, and what we assumed of what happened in these playoffs, especially with these injured players, a part of that Warriors team is, you rushed them out way too fast. We know that. Right. And we can only assume that. You can go off of evidence of Game 5 of the NBA Finals where Kevin Durant comes out, takes him a quarter and a half, and he's done for now an entire season.
Right.
He re-injures the same thing. Clearly he wasn't going to be 100% coming back, but I don't even think he was 60, 50%. There's no way he was remotely.
And they were calling that a calf injury. We don't know what the extent of the injury was.
Yeah.
I mean, they say a calf injury.
And I think Andre was probably correct on this, and I like to believe Andre, and I think he was a respectable player. I think absolutely that the Warriors ownership and front office was absolutely lying to everyone about situations at least happening with this team. I would not be surprised.
Yeah.
And this only at least validates, or at least my suspicions about this team and ownership and that front office of, there's no way that Kevin Durant was that healthy.
And it bothers me, too.
There's no way that Andre was even remotely healthy.
Well, you and I were both fans, and we want the Warriors to win. We were hoping they would get their third. But now you sit here and I told you again, I go back to what I said here on the air. I said, hey, Kevin Durant, they're forcing him back. And I don't want to win a championship that way. You don't want to put somebody's career in jeopardy. And right now, you're talking Kevin Durant losing a year out of his career.
And it now alters his career, whether it is now play style, but also, too, where it is a big contract year. Again, he is now up for free agency, or at least has this option to at least venture out into free agency. You've now altered what is going to happen to him, where, granted, the Warriors have come out and said, we're going to give him that super max contract. But I think I talked to you about it earlier this week, if not last week. Who says that they're even going to? Again, it goes back to that question of, will they be honest? Will they be truthful to what they've said weeks ago? Or are they going to alter that because, well, you're missing out a year. You don't deserve that Supermax because, again, you're out for this entire season.
And you're also looking at he's damaged goods. So who really is going? I mean, you're the owner of Phoenix, Nick. I mean, do you really want to look at him right now?
With the Knicks, with the Clippers, with the Lakers, whoever it may be, yes, you are now looking at this situation a lot differently than if you were with a healthy Kevin Durant. Because now you're without him an entire season. Here it is, the contract year where you got to figure out term length, but you're minusing 1 year now.
But also, too, there is no guarantee. And again, this is the sad part about this. Yes, it's an Achilles injury. Understand that. The Achilles injury that I remember that happened to one Kobe Bryant, well, that came in the latter stages of his career.
Yeah.
And he had maybe about a couple more seasons left in him.
He was the one that was at least quick to recover from it as well, too. But it is something where it takes a full year.
They forced him back, though. Why? Because he puts butts in the seats at Staples. But in the case of Kevin Durant, we don't know what's going to happen with him when he's fully recovered, if he gets fully recovered.
Yeah.
We don't know the extent of how bad this is. Yeah, everybody's telling us. Same thing with Clay. Surgery went good. Well, that's great.
Well, that's great, yeah.
Yeah, now it's the year of rehab. He's going to have a year of rehab. Clay's going to have a half year of rehab. And then again, he's going to be on the court, and he's not sure if he can make those cuts left, right?
Yeah.
We don't know. Same with Kevin Durant. Once he steps onto the floor next July, how far is he going to be able to run up and down the floor? Is he going to be able to cut? Is he going to be able to jump? He's going to come down on that Achilles. Again, what's to say it doesn't snap? We don't know. So,
it is something to be determined. But again, I think Andre is absolutely right in what he's come out and said about the at least ownership group of kind of painting this picture of saying, they've kind of lied to you out there. And it doesn't surprise me. It really doesn't surprise me of what, this ownership group, where, again, they are committed. I respect them as a fan of, they've come out and they're trying to do everything they can to win. And I guess that now includes lying about stuff, forcing your players to get out there.
And that's unfortunate if that be the case.
Yeah.
That's really unfortunate that you'll do anything and whatever it takes to win.
Yeah.
And again, we always thought whatever it takes to win meant spending a lot of money.
Yeah.
Buying the championship. If you're forcing guys, and again, I go back to Kevin Durant, if you're forcing guys to get on the floor, hey, I'm paying you $25 million, I need you on the floor now, and the guy's going, hey, or ownership, hey, I'm hurting. Come on, we got to do it. We're down 3-1.
I would hope that both parties are at least on agreement, especially with Kevin Durant or Andre or something where, if ownership's trying to push you, maybe, hey, as a player, as a personnel, where your body a lot better than what that owner is going to tell you, hey, maybe there's a little push and pull of saying, I can't get out there, or is it something that the Warriors ownership group was, basically saying, hey, we need you out there, Kevin. We need you out there, Andre. Basically kind of putting the pressure on them, not forcing their hand, so to speak, but just kind of lighting that fire and going, hey, we need you. You going to be ready? You going to be ready? Just kind of at least up in their face constantly. And I would not be surprised if that was what was happening in the back end, at least in the locker room with the Warriors.
Well, we can't speculate. We don't know. And again, we're getting one person's opinion in Andre.
Who's in that locker room.
Who's in the locker room, and obviously we'll probably hear more.
Who was also injured during these playoffs.
And we'll also hear more from others because, again, people are going to be asked to comment on this book, and that will be those inside the Warriors locker room.
Yeah.
We're going to take a timeout. We'll come back with more after these words on 1480 KRAE. First Tier Bank strives to remain competitive and offers some of the best CD rates in the community, as well as area banks and credit unions per Rate Watch reports. How does that make a difference to you? First Tier Bank can assist you in securing some of the best rates on CDs. First Tier Bank offers the personalized customer service you've grown accustomed to and deserve. Plus, feel confident that your finances are taken care of by a responsible, knowledgeable staff. Call 307-632-3500 and ask for Caitlin or Debbie. Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender. Check out the huge savings this week at Town & Country Supermarket Liquors. Here are just a few of the terrific weekly specials. Our Super Radio Buys, heard only right here, features Svedka Vodka, 1.75-liter bottle, $13.99. Pepsi products, 24-pack, 12-ounce cans, $5.49. And Bacardi Rum, light, dark, or limon, 1.75-liter bottle, $17.99. Town & Country Supermarket Liquors on the South Greeley Highway. Cheyenne's low-price leader.
We are the key to your cleaning success. The Key People that provides affordable office and professional cleaning services for over 40 years with exceptional customer care. All of our contractors have background checks and are licensed and bonded. We guarantee you a safe and secure service that is tailored to your individual and business needs. The Key People do not impose year-long contracts, and all quotes are free, confidential, and personalized. Call the Key People at 1-800-468-8283. That's 1-800-468-8283.
1480 KRAE is your home for live play-by-play coverage of high school basketball and football. Hi, this is Nick Brody inviting you to hear all the play-by-play calls of East, Central, and South football and basketball. You'll hear the conference action along with the postseason, and during the basketball season, 1480 KRAE features both boys and girls games. Catch all the exciting calls on AM 1480 KRAE, also streaming the games worldwide on the web at 1480KRAE.com.
When you say Mondello Pizzeria, think authentic Italian. When you say Mondello Pizzeria, think made fresh from scratch. When you say Mondello Pizzeria, think great pizza, delicious Philly cheesesteak, superb hot and cold Italian sandwiches, meatballs, sausage, and special subs, calzones, crisp salads, and great service. When you say Mondello's Pizzeria, think unmatched Italian taste. Mondello's Pizzeria, 1507 Stillwater Avenue, your only true Italian stop for lunch or dinner.
At Medicap Pharmacy, we concentrate on nothing but your medications and your health. Each location is a locally owned full-service neighborhood pharmacy. We won't make you walk through aisles and aisles of stuff or wait in a long line. Instead, we'll always make time for you by listening, answering your questions, and explaining your prescriptions.
Medicap Pharmacy. We'll always make time for you.
Medicap Pharmacy, 1947 Bluegrass Circle, next to Texas Roadhouse in Cheyenne. Or call 635-3712.
Here's the latest weather forecast on 1480 KRAE.
For tonight, it'll be mostly sunny with highs around 77. For tonight, it'll be mostly cloudy with lows around 47. On Wednesday, it'll be mostly sunny with highs around 83. And on Wednesday night, it'll be mostly cloudy with lows around 51.
Here, the season never ends. From Wyoming sports to the Broncos in Denver. From Rockies baseball to talking hoops with Nuggets basketball. Local, regional, and national. This is Wyoming Sports Talk Today, right here on AM 1480 KRAE.
Back on Wyoming Sports Talk today. So last night, watching the Rockies and the Giants from San Francisco. Good ball game. And
why are we talking baseball? We saw plenty of basketball notes to get to.
All right, well.
I can't, again, Rocky shut out Drew Pomerantz, at least for the Giants.
Can I finish what I'm going to say here?
No.
The reason I'm saying this, and we'll go back to hoops here in just a second, but what I'm saying is, you were asking the question, why the Giants have been nationally spotlighted. Well, guess what? They're trotting out Madison Bumgarner tonight. Don't you think they're trying to spotlight him? Trying to get him,
I'm just saying, 4 games in a row, let's be honest.
Matt Bum's going to be on the national spotlight. Right now, it's trade time.
It's trade time, but will he be traded? I highly doubt it. I highly doubt it.
Absolutely, I think he will.
I think the Giants are going to go back and realize that they can't get much out of him.
Here's what I'm going to say this about the Giants right now. After watching last night, Panic, trade. Belt, trade. Longoria, don't know if you're going to get much for him. Trade. Bumgarner,
we'll see.
Trade.
We'll
Melanson, trade. I can see about a half dozen Giants that won't be wearing that uniform.
We'll see.
Coming up here by the end of July.
All right.
I'm just
whatever. Again, that's far from now. But again, as for whatever reason we had to go baseball. But again, as we got plenty of basketball notes last night, we did at least learn a few NBA awards as well. But continuing off the Andre, but also continuing off at least Andre Iguodala notes. Just wanted to wrap up a few other things as we mentioned with the Mark Jackson situation. Same with what is happening with the Warriors ownership, but also too.
Andre Iguodala, just a quick note from him regarding at least talking about being a part of this Warriors franchise, and he kind of alluded to other fan bases, but talking about how, when you start winning, the real fans, the real Warriors fans got priced out of Oracle Arena, and obviously he referenced to Silicon Valley, which is kind of one of the more pristine, richer areas of the world, if not in the U.S., where again, a lot of those folks seeing seeing the winning natures, being a part of that, basically raising prices so the average Joe, at least Warrior fan, whether it is in Oakland or in San Francisco or around the Bay Area, fortunately couldn't afford to go out and support their team as the diehard fans that they are. Instead, had to take a step back to the Silicon Valley folks that may not know basketball, may not know the Warriors, may not know, the history of this team or what the NBA is all about, but instead they're buying up these tickets and taking away the fun from, the real Warrior fans.
Well, and think about it, when Don Nelson was there, PJ Carlissimo, and you would look into the Coliseum Arena back in the day, or now the Oracle Arena, and you would say, gosh, it's only half full. And again, you're right. There are true Warrior fans. There's guys like me from the 75 championship team that still were there cheering on the Warriors. And then you sit here and you look at the polyester crowd from the Silicon Valley that, hey, I make six figures a year, no problem. I'll pay $2,500 for my season tickets. Yeah, you're right. That's true in all sports, though, Nick.
But is it a problem, as what Andre is kind of at least putting out there, of it's taken away from the real fans, or at least this shouldn't be happening?
What are you going to do?
Yeah, again, how do you regulate that, and how do you do all that? Obviously, in a perfect world, you could find some way and keep the real fans in.
When you go to the ticket office, you either buy courtside, you buy first level, second level. That's all you can do. You can't buy, hey, I've been a fan for 40 years, and I'm a Silicon Valley guy. You can't buy tickets like that.
No.
And unfortunately, money talks.
Yeah, which is the unfortunate thing. But again, my question to you is this a growing problem? Is this something that...
In every sport, Nick. Look at the hockey fans. Let's talk about hockey, okay? Think about Colorado Avalanche. They sell out. Hell, they haven't sold out even under the Patrick Waugh years. All of a sudden now they're sold out. Where did those fans come from?
Well, that's just the interesting thing, at least piece with Colorado, at least fans in general. And again, we brought this up. They're very fickle.
I'm just using that as
they're very fickle. But I think hockey's a little bit different than what you see with the NBA, maybe NFL. MLB is probably on the same vein as at least with the NHL, where, you see those fan colors loud and proud. You'll see those jerseys. You'll see those team colors. You see everything, the merchandise throughout those arenas. Whether it is down at the Pepsi Center, out in the T-Mobile Arena with the Vegas Golden Knights. You look in MLB where, St. Louis. You see just a sea of red all the time out there, where I think you see probably a good 95% of those in attendance in St. Louis. Those are your real fans.
Real fans. But here's the deal.
But I think it's a growing issue, definitely in the NBA, and I think it is a growing issue as well, probably in the NFL too.
Well, and again, I go back in time where my dad was on the waiting list for Raiders season tickets. The girl I was dating at the time, her father had 2 season tickets.
Which could run you nowadays probably insane amount of money.
The only way you were going to get a couple of seats is that somebody died or decided not to be Raider fans the next season. Well, that never happened, because from 1973, when my dad put himself on the list to be a Raider season ticket holder, to the time we moved down to Central California, it goes back to 1969. I take it back, 69, till the time we moved in 75. My dad still was not a season ticket holder. Now, one of my uncles was a 49er season ticket holder, and they had plenty of those to sell.
Yeah.
Because the Niners weren't as popular back then until in the early 80s when Bill Walsh took over. But again, the Raiders every year were good.
Yeah.
And this is from, the Johnny Rauch into the Johnny Madden, Tom Flores era. the Raiders always were a playoff team, or they were always winning. 50,000 fans. All you could fit in that Coliseum was 50,000 plus. And, again, there was no seats to be had.
Which is fine. Again, that's sold out. But I'm just talking about at least looking at sports and these leagues of where are we seeing these places filled up with real fans, or at least real fans of that
they're
sports.
filled with corporate.
And that's what I was going to say, again, with the NFL, NBA, certainly. I think, honestly, the NHL, as much as that's filled with corporate, at least corporate kind of seats as well, and buying up those luxury boxes or whatever it may be in arenas around this country or up in Canada, I still feel like NHL, though, at its core, where you go to these arenas, that is the only league that feels like it has a real fan base. If you go to Nashville, probably 95% of those fans know that team really well, know that history.
Okay.
Vegas fans, they've committed to the Golden Knights. Sharks, I think you are seeing where you would have those average Joe fans.
They're all from Silicon Valley, though, San Jose Sharks.
Again, are they really into hockey? But I think out there you see a diehard fan base for the Sharks.
But, go to the Super Bowl, though, Nick. This is
the Super Bowl is where, again, that is corporate.
For you and me to go to the Super Bowl, we'll be either in the third or fourth deck. Those are the seats that are available for the Joes, okay? If that is our team going there, whether it's the Niners, Broncos, whoever. The point is, we're sitting up here, and all the corporate smoothies have the other 48,000 seats.
Yeah.
There's only about 30,000 left for the average Joe to go to a Super Bowl, and we get the crap seats.
Yeah.
So, again, like you said, going back to the Warriors in Silicon Valley, they're buying up all the good seats.
They're buying up
they're
buying up the good seats, but also too it's something to putting it out, a false fan base almost in front of this, TV audience, or at least in front of the players. It is something where again they're out there of, do they really care? Do they even know what's going on? Do they know the history? Do they know the players? Are they really that invested? Probably not.
But
also too, we saw recently, especially there in the finals, where you see these Silicon Valley types, or at least kind of rich mucky mucks that go to these games, pay those tickets, and think they can do whatever they want. I.e., with a Drake. Granted, I'm not going to say he's a false fan. He's a diehard.
He's a diehard Raptors
But you look
fan.
what happened there in Oakland, at least the situation where, again, with Lowry getting pushed by the guy who is now banned from the NBA outright, who thought he could just do whatever he wanted.
And he knew better, and he knew what the rules are. But again, too, like you watch a Rockies game tonight, just for argument's sake, and look over the Giants' dugout. Those are Rocky fans,
but
I think half of them on their phones. They don't care about the game.
Well, that's neither here nor there. That is not an argument. But
but I'm just saying that's the kind of fan you have. You don't have a guy like you and me who sits there and watch all 9 innings of a baseball game. We're true baseball fans. Where you have people sitting in the corporate seats, nice seats, and they're just sitting there and they're just, let me, I'm on the phone.
And obviously money talks in all these leagues. And in a perfect world, again, these corporate buyouts wouldn't happen where, yes, you would have more real fans head out to support these teams. But, it is what it is. And it is, in my opinion, a growing issue around whether it's baseball, hockey, not so much, but in football with basketball where, we are losing that real fan, those diehards that are going to cheer on your team, get vocal, get loud. They are there day one.
Everything's getting Hollywood.
I don't know what you mean by that.
Getting Hollywood is that they're there just to be seen.
Yeah, possibly.
That's it.
Especially with social media, of having that influence, or something like that. I don't know why you put up the term Hollywood as stupid as that was.
You want to be seen.
I guess it does feel like that right now. It is a growing trend in sports. I think the only sport that has the option for average Joe fans, or at least those who are the diehards, to get out there because it is cheap and available, and tickets are at least have options, especially since you have 81 home dates, probably baseball. Where baseball probably encompasses where you could probably see a good amount of fans that at least could attend a game, or at least have that option where, corporate hasn't bought them out. But, we'll see. But it is a growing issue right now across all major sports.
All right, well, we need to move on here real quick.
We need to take a break, and then we come back.
All right, well, we'll take a timeout, and then when we come back, some awards were handed out, and we'll be back after these words here on 1480 KRAE. Chick-fil-A is a proud supporter of our high school athletes at East, Central, and South.
May the school year bring success to all of you. Before you start your day, stop by Chick-fil-A for a hearty, delicious, and satisfying breakfast. Only at Windmill and Del Range. Breakfast is served Monday through Saturday from 6 in the morning till 10:30 a.m. Breakfast with Chick-fil-A, the most important meal of the day at Windmill and Del Range.
Taco John's presents Olay the Day Pep Talks.
Human history has shown anything is possible with inspiration and hard work. The 4-minute mile, a man on the moon, a water skiing squirrel, and now sirloin steak burritos from Taco John's.
Sirloin steak burritos are back at Taco John's. Stuffed with hand-carved sirloin steak and bold flavors like the melty, savory grilled cheese steak burrito, plus steak and shrimp or steak and potato olays. And for the morning, 2 steak and egg breakfast burritos. Sirloin steak burritos are back, but only for a limited time. Olay the Day at Taco John's.
This is the time of year you will see motorcycles riding around town and on the highways. All motorists are reminded to safely share the road with motorcycles and bicyclists and to be on the alert to keep these riders from harm. These could be your neighbors, your friend, or someone's mother or father. Motorcycles and bikes are cautioned to make themselves visible to other motorists. When you come to a stop, always look left and right before proceeding. This will help prevent an avoidable accident and will keep everyone safe. To all drivers on Wyoming roads, be mindful and vigilant. Paid for by Federal Highway Safety Funds.
Summer is just beginning, and it's a great time to plan all your home improvement and remodeling projects. This is Lexi.
And this is Aaron from Platte Valley Bank. A home equity line of credit can help finance summer projects, but can also fund summer fun like a boat, ATV, or even a convertible.
Stop in either Cheyenne location and we'll show you the hidden value in your home with a home equity line of credit from Platte Valley Bank.
Platte Valley Bank, member FDIC, equal housing lender. Credit subject to approval. Certain restrictions apply.
Capital Lumber is lumber one in Cheyenne. Are you listening? We're all the lumber store you'll ever need. For electrical, plumbing, paint, and tools, lumber and hardware, we're for you. And we're out to earn your business, yes indeed. Capital Lumber is lumber one today. Are you listening? Capital Lumber's at your service all the way.
Capital Lumber Company, serving our area for over 53 years at 1222 Dunn Avenue in Cheyenne. Right now it's time to head over to Jolly Rogers RV Sales, Parts, and Service for low prices on outstanding RVs in Wyoming. Your local, exclusive Jayco dealer wants you to check out their closeout deals as well as their 2019 inventory of trailers, fifth wheels, and toy haulers. You can save up to 30% on select models with approved credit. You can find them at 6102 East Highway 30. Jolly Rogers RV Sales, Parts, and Service is a proud sponsor of LCCC men's and women's basketball, also our local high school teams too.
Here's the latest weather forecast on 1480 KRAE.
For tonight, it'll be mostly sunny with highs around 77. Then for tonight, it'll be mostly cloudy with lows around 47. On Wednesday, it'll be mostly sunny with highs around 83. And on Wednesday night, it'll be mostly cloudy with lows around 51.
When it comes to sports talk in Cheyenne, it's a whole new ballgame. Let's play ball! You're listening to Wyoming Sports Talk today, and it's only here on AM 1480 KRAE.
In our closing minutes, we have here media voted awards for the National Basketball Association, as we're going to kind of motor through this to a certain degree. Of course, the NBA Most Valuable Player, I don't have a problem with this.
Yeah, honestly, at least getting the MVP
The
vote.
Greek Freak?
Yeah, again, no surprise there. I anticipated this. Does he deserve it? Absolutely so. Looking at his other contenders, again, James Harden, is he the MVP of the NBA? No, I really don't believe so.
Paul George?
That's hard to believe. No, how he got second place. These are all media voted on.
Again, this is the media. This is not fans.
Yeah, so, but either way, though, again, with Giannis at least getting MVP, yeah, absolutely. He was the MVP of the league.
The Rookie of the Year was Luka Doncic, if I'm not mistaken, that's how you say his name,
Sure.
from the Dallas Mavericks. Again, DeAndre.
There was a lot of hype around Luka. I think he is has that capability to revitalize the Mavericks franchise. But again, looking at at least DeAndre Ayton for the Phoenix Suns, I wouldn't say Rookie of the Year. Trae Young maybe had a good case for the Atlanta Hawks, but I think Luka, again, no controversy there. Yeah, he should be your Rookie of the Year.
Now, we do want to mention this, too. On the Warriors side, for all that they accomplished, they're not in the awards, if you think about it.
Well,
all right, let's go to the sixth man. Now, is Lou Williams deserving from the L.A. Clippers?
I think of what he did for that Clippers team to get him to the playoffs, absolutely. I think, he is your sixth man. Looking at some of the other names, again, for Harrell, from the Clippers as well, too, obviously, being hand-in-hand possibility.
Sabonis from Indiana Pacers, okay. Sure.
Yeah, again, should Andre Iguodala be the sixth man of the year? No. I really, he didn't have a phenomenal year. He did run into an injury bug as well, too, throughout. So, again, I don't think Warriors have been snubbed in anything so far, whether it is rookie, most valuable player, or sixth man at this point. Defensive player, you might have a case for Draymond. I think he always has a case year in and year out, but I think also, too, there might be a little, at least...
there's backlash against him, yeah.
I think absolutely. I think there is a controversy or at least some sort of collusion against Draymond in the NBA. Also, too, in the media. Again, it is media-voted awards where he might rub them the wrong way, kind of another Bay Area product of a Barry Bonds, kind of rub the media wrong ways.
His cockiness does.
Either way, though, I think that's what hurts Draymond in these media-voted awards where, again, he might rub him the wrong way or at least not give him the answers or the journalistic quotes that they want.
Right.
So, again, he gets snubbed on that. So I think he's the only one that could give a good argument, especially he puts in, I think, year in and year out, Defensive Player of the Year, at least good stats.
He puts the numbers up, yeah, absolutely. And then you look at Rudy Gobert from Utah. Okay. I'm not going to... and then you got the Greek Freak also got mentioned, and then Paul George, once again, from Oklahoma City.
Sure.
Okay. Then you look at the NBA's most improved player. How much of this, supposedly this was done before the championship, if I'm not mistaken, right?
Should be done before the playoffs,
right,
is what my understanding is about the playoffs.
Because he wasn't even an impact player until the championship series.
It felt like with Seacom for the Toronto Raptors, again, Pascal, who did get the at least most improved player, it did feel like that was his shining light where he did at least, again, become that kind of improved player. But throughout the entire season, without wholeheartedly looking at the Toronto Raptors and what they did out in the East, I mean, again, they were at least competitive in the East, and he had to be one at least part of it or a piece. I mean, I don't have an issue with it. I mean, was there anyone that stood out that was improved or at least came back from something or at least elevated their game that was really that spotlighted? Probably not. Against at least Seacom, no problem.
Well, and then you have the NBA Coach of the Year,
which might be a little controversial in this part of the world for us.
Well, not really.
I'm not. I think
Budenholzer.
Yeah, I think he was the Coach of the Year. Absolutely. Right behind him was Mike Malone. Yeah. Again, case absolutely could be made for him and what he did for that team. But I think what was more impressive to rebound the Milwaukee Bucks to get them to where they were, number one seed in the East, and again to get them at least as far as they did in the playoffs. Again, with the playoffs not really mattering to this awards, but I think he was the more impressive and was definitely the Coach of the Year.
And I think the Executive of the Year definitely should have went to the Milwaukee Bucks, and it did. It went to John Horst. So, those are some of the awards that
they have player voted, again, community awards as well. Yeah, so, again, kind of fun stuff with that. For instance, again, Sager Strong Award that went to Robin Roberts last night. So, again, kind of heartfelt moments.
Yeah.
Lifetime Achievement Award to both Magic Johnson and Larry Bird.
Absolutely.
So,
yeah, absolutely that should be. What you do have is Steph Curry from the Warriors on the all-first team along with the Greek Freak, James Harden, looks like Paul George, and Nikola Jokic. So those were...
Yeah, that was your all-NBA first team getting representation. As you look at it as well, the interesting thing is we got the dog barking once again, but at least 4 out of the 5 are Western Conference players.
Yeah, and again, on the all-defensive team, Utah's Rudy Gobert, Paul George, Greek Freak, Marcus Smart from Boston, Eric Bledsoe from the Bucks.
Again, no Draymond, very surprising.
Yeah, I say, do I have a defense for him? Absolutely, I do.
Yeah,
But
very surprising on that. But other than that, though, again, the awards, it's here and gone. Again, the main one, the MVP, going to the Greek Freak. No surprise. He definitely deserved it. No surprise as well, too. And I hope fans, at least in this area, do realize, hey, Mike Malone had a good year, but it wasn't as impressive of what Budenholzer had with Milwaukee.
Yeah, well, no, it probably of equal playing, I would say, for both,
I don't know about
both
that.
coaches.
Again, what was more impressive turnaround-wise, where, again, Nuggets were knocking on playoff. They had an opportunity last year that they let go to the Minnesota Timberwolves. They had their opportunity to make it the playoffs. And, again, at least a translation compared to what Milwaukee did, what they did this season, the turnaround that they had, that's a little bit more impressive than, at least in my opinion, what the Nuggets
being the
had to
number
do.
one seed as opposed to being the number 2 seed. And that's the way they finish. Budenholzer along with Malone, 1-2. All right, we got to wrap things up here. Again, baseball going on at Powers Field coming up at 6 p.m. if I'm not mistaken, right?
How about 6:30?
6:30 with Post 6 as